So again, I'm still trying to figure out my space and my room and which is better. So this way, I think for right now, I'm going to come this way. My towel right underneath the shoulder blades, the back of my head resting on the medium level. Okay, Lisa, this is where you're going to hear me start that little grunt. Okay. So take a deep breath. Close down your eyes. And initially feel into that elevation of the thoracic spine, the heart space, the collarbone. And this is where you make that adjustment. If your breath cannot be full and fluid here, if it just feels like it's getting caught or choppy, allow yourself to come down just a bit. We don't need that full height to begin. So find a place where you can feel the breath come into the body. And as you close down the eyes, use the mind to trace the breath. And as the mind traces the breath just naturally becomes a little bit fuller. Somebody's paying attention to it. And what happens when that? We all bloom, right? So let the breath bloom. Notice the quality. Notice the length. And notice any constriction. I like to place my hands on my belly. I like to feel the breath as it enters my body. And at the same time, when my hands drop with the exhale, I almost feel my body drop just a little bit more to the mat. So a couple breaths. And depending on how your leg position is, let's bring the feet so that they're hip distance apart. The knees, the thighs are parallel right up to the ceiling. Bring the hands to the heel of the hands to the hip crease. And we're just going to check into the back body, nice and easy. So with your inhale, scoop the belly in and slide the palms up towards the knees, head and shoulders coming off the mat. And then gently slide them back. So again, check your breath here. Slide up, lift the upper body. And then relax everything back down. So a couple more. This time I'm just going to lower my block now to its lowest level. Head is still supported. Big inhale in as I slide up. And as I release down. And I will make one modification to my towel. Please feel free to do the same. And one more slide up, much better, and back down. And then we'll remove the block. And again, just notice the back of the head now. It's in more of an incline, right? So take in a nice full deep breath here. And let it go. And then interlace the hands behind the head. Allow the elbows to go as wide and as flat as you can. So again, a nice opening through the pecs, through the biceps, through that whole collarbone area. Take in a full breath. And then just a slight tuck of the pelvis so that you can feel the low back supported on the mat. And keep that belly engaged here. Lift the elbows up to the ceiling. And then without pulling on the head, let's take that 4-part count. So on the inhale, belly's in, we come up halfway. So almost the spine is neutral. Exhale all the air out as the elbows head towards those knees. Again, no hands, Mom. Don't be pressing on that head forward. Inhale, come back halfway. And then slowly lower on the exhale, open up the elbows. So again, it's been a little bit of time. We're going to take our time with this. Slow practice moves. Big inhale, tilt the pelvis, draw the belly in, elbows up. Come up halfway. On your exhale, round and curl. Come back to that halfway point, and then release and lower and open up the elbows. All right, so that's our movement with controlled breath. So you take it as you need it, as your breath dictates it. Elbows up, the gaze is always at the ceiling, and we are not pulling on the head or the neck. Big breath in, we come up halfway. Then we round in. We shorten that distance between that hip point and that low rib. And then we come back halfway and we release and relax. 4 more. Up and curl. Back and down. Big breath in as we come up. Exhale the breath as you curl. Come back halfway and release. 3 more. The slower you work, the more you will feel everything that has to engage to make this movement. And we do it with breath. I'm on my last one. As I come down, elbows go wide. Relax the belly, relax the shoulders and the head. Now you can stay exactly like we were with the feet on the floor, or you can bring those legs up into a bridge position. So the knees parallel, or the calves are parallel with the floor. Draw the elbows back up, scoop the belly in, slight tilt into the pelvis, and we'll go again. Inhale, we come up halfway. Exhale, you want to change it, take that elbow towards the knee. Come back to that halfway point, and then lower back down. So a little crossover, only if you want it. Inhale, come up, cross it over, elbow to the opposite knee. Come back to that halfway point and release. 4 more. Cross and down and up and down. I have 2 more. And as you're finished, just draw the knees into the chest. Give them a squeeze. And then plant the feet back by the sit bones here. Take a moment. We're just going to roll to the side. We're going to release that towel from underneath the shoulders. Keep it kind of close. And here again, you can adjust the height of the towel. And we're going to place it right underneath our sacrum. So with your knees bent, feet planted, press into those heels, lift your hips high. So you're making this nice, beautiful slope from the knees to your shoulders. Slide that towel underneath. Find that little shelf that God built just for this, and then lower the hips back down. So now the hips are elevated, the shoulders and the head nice and light. There is no weight in the head, no strain into the neck, right? Take in a full breath, and let's bring our legs back to that tabletop position. Flex through the feet. So again, I like to bring my hands to my thighs because sometimes the body wants to cheat and bring the knees in a little bit closer. But see if you can focus on keeping the knees right over the hip bones. Keep that belly scooped to protect the low back. And we're just going to alternate heel taps. So on your in-breath, belly's in. Exhale. One heel goes down. And as slow as you can, draw it back. and then the opposite heel. And up. So now with my hands, kind of watching where my thighs are, my finger pads go into that low belly area. And I can feel the muscles now engaging. Nice and slow. Notice your breath. Soften those shoulders and release that jaw. Let's take 2 more each side. Again, slow it down. And legs return to that tabletop, and let's pull the knees in. This time, as you pull the knees in, pull the tailbone up. So you've got that padding to help you lift it up and just feel that nice stretch here in the low back. Again, you can continue from that tabletop position, or I'm going to lead extending the legs up towards the ceiling, flexing through the foot. Again, the belly draws in. I soften the whole upper body. One heel comes down to tap. And nice and slow, I pull it up. So alternate right and left. Notice what has to happen to make this work here. And then notice how your breath is supporting your body in making the movement. Maybe 3 more each side. Keep those heels lifted up towards the ceiling. That keeps the whole back of the legs engaged. And as you complete your last round, draw the knees back in. Big hug. Again, let the tailbone ride up. And then re-extend the legs back up towards the ceiling. Now here, you might want to grab onto the side of your mat, just as a little bit of leverage. Again, scooping that belly in. We're going to take both legs like they're one. So bring the big toes, the ankles, the knees. Squeeze in, squeeze the belly, lower any amount. And for me, I know my body. I can only go down about a third. And that's okay. I can feel that contraction in my belly. And then bring it back up. So if you can lower all the way down without sacrificing that back, go ahead and do it. Just work slow. And again, feel into the muscles here in the low belly. And keep the breath flowing. When that breath quits flowing, the muscles tend to freeze up. So super important is the breath. Take 2 more. Legs come back up. Just pause and then draw the knees back in. Nice squeeze, nice hug. Again, a slight rounding into the spine. And then drop the feet back down to the mat into that bridge position. Again, feet parallel, thighs parallel. Let's press into the feet, lift the hips up. Now spend a moment here in bridge. So we want to like shove the knees towards the bottom of our mat, lift the hips, feel the weight from one shoulder tip to the other. The head, the neck, no weight. Continue to press into the feet, continue to lift the hips up. Front body, back body, passive back bend here. Then reach down, grab that towel that's underneath and just set it off to the side. One more breath, hips a little higher. And then slowly lower, and your choice depending on your spine. You can come down flat or you can roll down the spine. Just depends on the health of your spine. Once you arrive, feel into both hips, feel into the spine, and then walk your feet out the width of your mat and just take a windshield wiper. Release that low back, one side to the other. And then bring those feet back into center in that block that you have sitting off to the side. Just bring it into our hands. Good. The block is overhead. So we stretch the arms out long and then stretch the legs out long. So big full body stretch here. And then we're going to pass the block. So take a big inhale, belly is in, and lift head and shoulders. Meet the feet. The feet does not meet the head and shoulders. Legs do not come past the hip points. And then slowly lower back down and stretch it out. Big breath in, tucks in the belly, up we go. Head and shoulders reach up for the feet. Pass the block and slowly with control, extend and lower. Big breath in, up we go. Take it down. 3 more. Reach for that block. Get those shoulder blades off the mat. And then relax down. Notice your back. If you're feeling this in your back, bend your knees and just pass the block off between the calves. Same motion, but the low back stays really supported on the mat. One more. Up and release. Nice job. As you come down, stretch yourself out. Reach the fingers away from the toes. Take a moment to slide those heels over to one corner of the mat. Doesn't matter which one. Take the hands to the upper corner. Shoulders, hips stay nice and flat. Just take a nice side body stretch. Big breath in. And then slide the heels back to center. Hands to center. Take a long stretch and just take it over to the other side. Reach the fingers on a diagonal. Soften the shoulders and the hips stay level. Nice work. Back to center. Last time. Big stretch. And then pull the knees into the chest again. See if you can raise that tailbone just maybe a half inch off the mat. And we'll take a roll over onto the side body and arrive on all fours. So on your all fours, again, stack through your joints. Scoop the belly in, nice straight supported spine. Take a full breath as you lift the tailbone, lift the heart, maybe the gaze towards the top of your mat. So really finding that space in the front body here to stretch it out should feel good. Then round it in, the tailbone rounds, the shoulders round, the chin tucks in. And then back, open the front body, slide back, bend in the back. And rounding. And just a couple on your own. Again, if your spine feels tight this morning, you can move from side to side. You can make this good in your body with any movement. It just doesn't have to be the traditional cat-cow. And then returning to that neutral table, we'll drop down onto our forearms. I like to interlace my hands. For some reason, I feel like it offers me some more support. Squeeze the fists together, press into the forearms, send the right leg long behind you onto the ball of the foot, send the left leg long behind you. Find your forearm plank. So here, heels back, chest forward, hands and gaze together there. And then we notice our breath, and there will be some trembling. And we love that because we know it's all the stabilizer muscles kicking in to hold up our body weight. And from what I've read, this almost uses every muscle we have. So your job is to simply breathe. Press into the forearms, send the heels back, keep the chest lifted and the belly engaged. Big breath in and a slow breath out. Keep the heels back. 2 more breaths. And as we're ready to come out, begin to lower the hips down. If your hands are clasped, release those and bring your forearms parallel. Spread the fingers wide. Taking a full breath as you plant those palms, drag them towards you. Find some length. Front body here. Again, we don't go for height. It's like from the belly button to the sternum. You want to feel that stretch. Squeezing the shoulder blades back behind you just to keep those shoulder heads from coming up. Take one more breath here. And then nice and slow, let's stack the palms, one on top of the other. Rest the forehead. Take a nice shimmy into the hips. Yeah, just to release those muscles. You might want to even pick up the feet and bring them up and windshield wiper here. That's a little bit of a different stretch, release into the low back. And then wherever you are, shimmying or release the feet back to the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under, press your way up and back. Extended child's pose. Feel the stretch from the tailbone through the spine. Let the head rest down. Let the chest rest down. Take the long stretch. Big breath into the back body. So important. Most of our lung space is in the back of the lungs, and we never breathe that fully into those areas. So big breath. And then untuck the toes. Slide the hands now beside the body all the way back. Hold on to your heels, around through your shoulders. Drop the crown of the head down towards the mat or a block. And then just allow the roundness in the shoulders, the ribs to be supported by the thighs. Feel the third eye on the mat. A little bit of gratitude for this beautiful day and for starting it out in a very focused and energetic way. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.